Hello and welcome to the 4-day visibility training. This is day one and we're talking content marketing. So, what is content marketing and how do you use it to find clients online on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on Twitter, wherever your ideal client hangs out? That's where you have to do content marketing. Content marketing basically means you attract audience members and future clients by sharing content. By sharing content that is so valuable for them that they then click on your profile, follow your business page, check out your products, check out your freebie, want to know more because what you have shared with them relates with them, is helpful for them, triggers them, just speaks to them. And we're going to talk about how to create that kind of content, how to stand out with that kind of content, because currently everybody is actually following this strategy in the online world. And I'll give you some questions on how you can actually really create personalized, authentic content, because that's, I think, the number one way you can stand out those days. Because there's so many posts in Facebook groups that look very, very similar, that are the classic 3 tips on how to do XYZ, or I have achieved XYZ. If you want to know how to do the same, ask me, message me, sign up for my freebie, whatever. The whole idea of content marketing, though, is instead of just spamming people with your offers and doing direct promotion sales, to give them value, to share your story, to share your successes, to share how you went from A to B, so they can then learn how to get from A to B themselves. So I'll share with you my content calendar. I'll share with you my content. I'll share with you different types of content and how I use those. And that's what we're going to do. So let's hop right into my content. I'll give you that as an example. You will have to individualize that. You will not be able to just copy what someone else does. You don't want to do that. I mean, it's your business, it's your brand, it's your unique message. But you have to be clear on who your ideal client is and what your message is to get started with this strategy properly. Because you need to address your ideal client, you need to use their words, you need to push their pain points, and you need to offer value to them. So you kind of need to know what is valuable to them. If you're still at that stage, hop into market research. You have to talk to your ideal client, you have to interview them, you have to understand what kind of content is valuable to them. And for me, content creation, that was a bit of a hit and miss, and I tried a lot of things. But you will then see how much engagement you get, where you get a lot of comments, and what works very, very well and people want to know more about. This training is an example. What I did to create this training, the 4-day visibility challenge, is basically I went into my own Facebook group and shared what kind of successes I had with this kind of strategies during the last week. So I shared how many Instagram followers I have, how many people I signed up on my email list, how I use Facebook groups, and I basically asked my audience directly, which topic are you interested in? Which would you like to have a free training about? Now, the results were absolutely inconclusive. So I got, for all kind of trainings, votes, and from many people I got votes for all 4 topics. And that's kind of how this free training was born. I decided, okay, I'll do all 4 topics and I'll do a training series. And that's what's happening right now. So that is content creation, which I came up with by asking my people what they would like to hear more about. That's how I came up with it. Okay, let me show you my content calendar. This is a Trello board. I don't know if you are on Trello. I organize everything in Trello. Trello is my organization. That's basically my content library. So those are all posts I shared on Facebook page and on my Facebook group. Facebook page, September, Facebook group, September. Facebook page, October, Facebook group, October. How do I distinguish between what I share in my page, on my page, and in my group? I do get better engagement in my group, because I've got more people and people see posts in groups quicker and more often than they see my business page posts. So I do focus more on my group, where I post sometimes, as you can see, several times a day. Here on the 20th of October, I made three posts in my Facebook group. And parts of that I will share on my Facebook page as well. I try to not do it on the same day because I don't want people to see the same post twice. So I basically have this library to keep track of what I have posted when, and then I can post the same post like 3 days later on my Facebook page or in other Facebook groups to mix it a little bit up and not just have everything double. Because if you post the same stuff on your Instagram, in your Facebook group, on your Facebook page, and send it to your email lists in the same go, people might get your content 4 times. Now, there's nothing wrong with publishing the same type of content on several channels, because not everyone does follow your business page, your Facebook group, your Instagram, your Pinterest, and is on your email list. But I would always spread it a bit up. So just schedule it on the next day or at the end of the week, or repurpose old content that you haven't used yet on your business page. So that's why I keep both separate, to see what I have already shared and what I'm going to share next. And I do share some more personal stuff in my group only. So there's more content and more honest and open content about like behind the scenes and my personal life in my Facebook group, because I know that's my tribe, that's my kind of people, that's only women that can actually see it. So I'm a bit more open in my group than the free content you would get on my page. I guess that's normal. Now I'll have picked some examples, but you see this is like a never-ending gallery of quotes, content, photos, promotions, goals. I share so much on social media, and I think that's already a main thing. You can't overthink this. You can't prepare one post per week. It's literally not enough. There's so much going on social media. You will just not be seen if you only create one piece of content per week. It's definitely not enough. So let's have a look. 1st of September, 1 post, 2 posts, 3 posts. 2nd of September, 3rd of September, 3rd of September, 4th of September, 5th of September, 5th of September, 5th, 6th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So you see, there is content at least once per day in my group and on my page. Very often it's more than that, but that's really just what comes up for me, how much I have to share. Did I record a video on that day? Do I have snippets? Do I have a quote? Do I have a book that I'm currently reading? Do I have an offer that I want to promote? All those kind of things. So I'm not going to do a promotional post, but I always create one piece of content, like in a value context, a day, that I then either share with my list or my group or on my page or on my private profile. That's another platform I use to share content. And yeah, as you can see, it comes up a lot of content after a while. But the great thing about this library is as well, I can repurpose it so easily. If there is a day where I really feel like I don't know what to say, and I don't have that often because I always feel like I have something to say, I can go back to a post in August and have a look, what did I write here? What's non-negotiable for you? And then I've got a long post here, and I can take snippets out of that again, or I can just simply post it again in another Facebook group where I didn't share it yet. I can change the photo. Nobody will notice that I have written that type of text on the 1st of August already and have shared it already on my Facebook page. Nobody will remember that if I copy and paste this text now into a Facebook group for content marketing, to get seen, to provide value. So I have this even longer back. I have got all my content still stored, and my content evolved a lot during the months in regards of my message and what I felt comfortable sharing. But if you really have something like this, you can repurpose so easily. You can hire a social media manager who does that for you. If you feel like you're going on a holiday for 1 week, there's enough content that a virtual assistant could absolutely easily work with and repurpose and post again. Okay, look, I want to share with you the different types of posts, and I have taken one example for each. The first one I want to talk about is a value post. A value post, I really mean giving value. No promotion, no I'm so awesome, whatever story. It's really tips, tricks, helpful things, websites that you use, tools that you found helpful, processes that work for you, how you launched something, whatever. I have an example here, which is the 3-step formula for crafting empowering questions. I've got a travel photo of me with that. So that's not really related to the 3-step formula of crafting empowering questions, but it shows me and how I'm traveling Bali and relates to my location independent lifestyle, because that's the kind of people I speak to and I want to attract. So that's basically really a step 1, 2, 3 post, how to craft empowering questions that you then can ask yourself in your mindset work. That's what I'm talking about a lot. So that's really pure value. There's no sign up for my mindset bootcamp. There's no I'm a mindset coach. I don't even mention who I am or what my message is. That's really just a value post. And from those, you have to do a lot. So I take my Facebook group as an example. I now allow promotions in my own Facebook group. Why? Because many people don't do anymore, and there's so many no promotion groups and so many groups where you can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday only, and it's really confusing if you're in 100 groups. So I decided everyone on every day can promote their free stuff in my group if, and now here comes the trigger, if they provide value first. And by value I mean engaging with people in my group, answering questions, helping them, being of service, and sharing value posts. So content that's valuable for people in my group without promoting, without linking, without copy pasting from your business page and linking to your business page or something like that. Really just pure value, tips, tricks, experiences, helpful things for others. The second type of post I want to share with you and show you is a storytelling post. So that is kind of not a, you have to do it X, Y, Z to achieve something. That is really something where I share a personal story that kind of has a message in the end that speaks to my audience. But this is really vulnerability at its best, yeah? So this is a relatively long text that I wrote, actually not really with the intention to promote or to share that in regards of content marketing, but really something that came up for me, like how I overcame my struggles in my old life, how I felt still stuck when I lived in Germany, and how my life looks like fast forward. Oh, I didn't want to click on that photo. How my life looks like fast forward 4 years later. And that's basically the kind of story that I tell here, like my old life compared to my new life. That's it. No link, no promotion. But that's the kind of content that relates most to my soulmate people, because that's what speaks to them. Location independence, freedom, building a freedom lifestyle, traveling full-time with an online business. That's the kind of story my people love. And that's how I get so many audience members. They see that post and they either message me or they comment or they like it or they add me as a friend. And that's new leads. That's new soulmate audience members in my tribe. This does require some openness and a lot of courage to really be vulnerable. Because if you just share a blah, blah, blah story to promote, hiddenly promote, people will notice that. I don't believe, and I see those kind of stories, and I see them actually, honestly, a lot from multi-level marketing travel companies. And I sometimes feel shy because my posts look like that, because they are this amazing, I live in this tropical paradise and work from my laptop, and here's how you can do the same. However, I don't want you to sign up for a paid training to then sell others a paid training. I want you to build your own soul-based business to actually do that. And I basically share how I did it and how I help my clients to do it. So storytelling post, the second type of content you'll need. Pick up your journal and journal something personal, and then decide what and how much vulnerability you can and want to share out of that. Usually those kind of posts are based on something I write for me personally. And then decide, actually, that's probably the kind of story that would relate to my audience as well. So that's probably a main trick to create honest, authentic content. Not writing it with the intention to find clients, but writing it from your heart, writing it because it's in your personal journal or in your personal story, or just comes from your heart. And then when I finished writing that, I usually am like, man, that's actually, I should share that. And yes, it's sometimes scary, but I got a lot of positive feedback, and I grew my audience a lot once I dared to really share my very personal story of how I broke free from my old unhappy life in Germany to creating this life of my dreams that I basically live today. And that absolutely relates with people. Why? Because they might be at the beginning stage where I was, and now they see how I live my life now. And what does that do? It shows them that it's possible. And that's the whole thing of storytelling. That's why I dare to be vulnerable. That's why I share the truth, that not everything was always rich and happy and Caribbean house sit and fantastic. I've come a long way to get here, and I share that way with my people. And that is honest, and that is authentic, and that is how you stand out from the crowds, when you really dare to do that. The next type of content post I want to share with you is a behind the scenes. And those are super popular for me. And they don't have a sales purpose, actually. They really are meant to connect with people, to share with you what's going on in my private life, what's going on with my travels, what's going on behind the scenes of my business. So this was basically a selfie from me on our last car ride and me sharing we're selling our car soon. I'm enjoying our last ride to Calgary. It's been an amazing time to be a car owner again whilst traveling the world. And it's one thing that I miss from time to time, because we didn't have a car whilst traveling from Australia to Asia to Europe to the United States at all. And then I shared we're leaving Canada in 18 days. Next stop, St. Lucia for a 3 weeks house sit. That's basically just sharing my life. That has nothing to do with my business apart from sharing that I live a location independent life. And I think that does a lot for me in my business. It connects with a lot of people. A lot of people want to follow along, and they want to see how I moved to the Caribbean. They want to see the house. They want to see how I managed to live there for free. They want to see how I managed to work from a laptop from wherever I am. So I share that. That's really not big marketing. That's really just like what I would share on my private Facebook profile. That's really including my audience into my life, letting them behind the scenes, sharing what's going on in my life and in my business. But this one is really not business related. That's really just my travel life and a private insight into what's going on behind the scenes. Next one I want to share is a connection post. It's similar to the behind the scenes post. And it's again, vulnerability that makes you stand out. Again, that's something I would write to a friend, and then I share it in my group because I see my audience as that type of soulmate people. I want to share that content that I would usually share with a friend. So that's basically a private photo from dinner from last week, and the headline just the usual moving country sphere, where I honestly and openly and authentically share with my audience that I'm not perfect and that I'm not that brave as it sometimes maybe looks like, that I still have fear when we're moving to a new unknown place. So again, that's a very relatable topic. I think a lot of people can relate to that. It's very honest, it's very authentic, it's not salesy, it's just a very, very honest look into my emotions, into my life, into my feelings, into what's going on behind the scenes. And then again, I share how I overcome those things. And I call that connection post because, again, there's no real sales intention or anything. That's really just to connect with my audience members. And I got a lot of support, which is absolutely amazing. There's nothing more amazing than sharing something about fears and having an audience that's actually supporting me and giving me a pep talk and telling me they feel the same and I will absolutely get through that. That is such an amazing way of connecting and engaging with an audience. Once you've achieved that, you really have a bunch of soulmate girlfriends. It sounds cheesy, yeah, but it means a lot to me that I have a community where I share something vulnerable and I get so much back as well. So the more you give and the more you open up, the more you will receive in return as well, and the more you will build true connections with your people. That's why I call that connection post. Questions and engagement posts are amazing for engagement. Instead of just always posting text, 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 ask a question. Ask a question, see what's coming back. And that's so much fun because it's really engaging instead of just speaking to my audience. That's really where you get so much back as well. I do that as an example every single month. Hello September, I've done Hello October, I do this every single month. I share my goals for the month. Again, it's pretty personal. I make a list of goals for the month every single month. So you see how many members I want in my bootcamp, how much money I want to make, how many location independent biz babes I want to have in my group, and private stuff as well, private goals. And I share that on the 1st every time in my group. And I ask people what their goals are for September. Open question. And everybody in my tribe kind of either gets triggered to think about that because they didn't before, or they already thought about that and have a list of goals. And then they reply, and you get engagement, and you build connections, and you attract new people, and you grow your tribe. That's honest marketing for me. I know there's a lot of just value posts out there, but I think to really relate to people and to really build connections, you have to share a lot of yourself. And I was super scared of that at the beginning. Believe me, I was hiding behind my logo as my profile photo, Dream Life Deluxe as the name, so it didn't have my own name. And for sure, I didn't share anything of my personal story from my life back in Germany, blah, blah, blah. Today I do. And it works incredibly well for me, which is, like, isn't it very often like this? You do something that is actually scary, you step out of your comfort zone, and that's then what works, instead of playing small and playing it safe. I think that's the magic in content marketing. And the last kind of post I want to talk about is the promotion post. Now, how many of the others come for one promotion post? I would say 80-20 in relationship. Connection posts, value posts, sharing your story, to 20 to 30% promotional posts. So this has to be clear. It has to be clear in my group. It has to be clear on your business page. People have to get valuable content first before they will even listen to your first promotion. And a lot of people get that wrong when it comes to freebies. I started my new rules in my group and said, okay, share value first, then you can promote your stuff. And then people started their very first post with a link to their business page and then posted their second post with a link to their freebie. I was like, nah, that's not quite what I mean by value. So some people think promoting your freebie is value. It is, yeah, you give a freebie, okay. But before someone will give you their email address and sign up for a freebie, they will want to get to know you. They will want to hear something about who the heck you are and why to hell on earth they should listen to you. So before you promote, you have to create value posts that show that you're an expert in your field, that you're relatable, that you're likable. People will have to like you if they really want to connect with you and work with you further. So start with all those other things before you even think about popping a link for your freebie somewhere. Now I'll show with you the promo post as well. So that's super short and sweet, yeah? That's for my free habit tracker, which was an exceptional, successful freebie to get new people on my list. And all I shared, again, was the honest story on how I created this. So not a fancy, this is amazing and you need this, blah, blah, blah. Just an honest story. What are your daily disciplines around your mindset and your business? And how do you keep yourself accountable? Which is a big topic. And after drawing way too many boxes for my daily habit tracker, which is 13 habits, 31 days, I don't know how many 100 boxes, I created a printable version for myself. So in the past, what you see here, I've basically journaled boxes in my journal and then colored them in with a pen whenever I have done my daily discipline. So I created this printable version, and after I created it, I thought, that's probably a really cool thing for my audience as well, because they're around mindset work, they're around business disciplines, they want to know how to keep yourself accountable to get stuff done. So anyone wants it for free? Comment with your favorite emoji below, and then you'll get it for free. The same you did when you found this 4-day visibility training. I did a promotional post saying, this is what I've achieved, this is my followers, this is how I make a full-time income by showing up with content marketing on social media. And you signed up for it. That's the whole magic. The magic is, though, to not only promote. The magic is to show up, to show who you are, to dare to be vulnerable. And that's already enough to stand out. Because many people don't. Many people only show the surface. Many people only talk about how much money they make in their business, which is great. I sometimes talk about money as well because I think it's a great measurement to see at what level someone is in their business. But I really don't think it's all. If someone just gives me blah, blah, I make 10K in my business, click here to find out how. Yeah, it's so boring, yeah? You have to share the struggles, how you got there. Did you just wake up and made 10K months? Surely not. If you want your audience to relate with you, share with them how you got there and share with them what you have overcome to get there. That's the whole magic of valuable content. People want to see how it works. People want to see how I managed to get 7,500 followers on Instagram. If they're not there yet, if it's someone who has 20,000 followers on Instagram, they will not be interested. Okay, that's fine. But if you just honestly and openly say, this is where I am, I'll tell you how I got there, the people who have 200 followers on Instagram will sign up because they're curious and they want to know and they want to get the free value to grow their own Instagram account. That's the whole thing. I'll give you 3 questions to ask yourself when it comes to creating content. Because I know at the beginning it's hard how to come up with this. How to really sit there in front of a blank canvas and come up with all those things. How do you come up with content if you really feel like, I don't know what the heck to say? The first question you can ask yourself is, think about your ideal future client, the person that you want to pull into your business, that is really your soulmate audience member, and that would be at the perfect stage to work with you. That person, what does my ideal future client need to hear right now? What does she need? Does she need inspiration to see that it's possible? Does she need clear instructions what the next step for her is in her business or in her life? Does she need a kick in the butt to finally take action and keep things going and start moving forward? Does she need the motivation to actually do her stuff on a daily basis to reach her goal? What does she need? What, if that would be your soulmate friend, what would you say to her? And then you speak directly to that person. Ignore the rest. Ignore the non-ideal clients. You speak to your ideal dream client. What does that person need to hear today to move forward, to sign up for your program, to actually consider what the next step for her is? The second tip in regards of content creation is asking yourself, what struggles did you overcome in the past and how? Because very likely your ideal client is the past version of yourself. That can be in life coaching, in business coaching, in whatever kind of service-based business you have. Share with your people that it wasn't all fluffy sunshine to get to where you are now and how you overcame the struggle. So when I started as a life coach, I shared my own personal journey from not knowing what I want in life to living the life of my dreams. And I shared how I got there. When I started business coaching, I shared with people how I found my business idea and how I got started. Today, where I coach people on how to grow their mindset, their confidence, and their audience to have a successful online business with a stable income that allows them to travel the world, I share how I got there. How did I get from struggling at the beginning, being super overwhelmed, having no idea what of the many tasks to do first, to where I am now? So think about struggles in the past that your ideal client can relate to, that they are maybe even in right now, even though you are already a few steps ahead. And then share about that. Talk about the struggles that you had and how you got out of that. Don't just leave it as a depressing story. Give them a step as well, how to move forward based on what you have learned out of that situation and how you have outgrown it. And the third question I ask myself in the mornings before I start creating content from my heart in regards to whatever comes up is, what do I truly want to talk about today? I repeat, what do I truly want to talk about today? What am I excited about talking? What do I want to share? And that's how so many topics out of my life come up. I yesterday wanted to share how we arrived in St. Lucia and how life here is and how it works to work here, location independently from my laptop. And reconnecting with yourself in regards of what you would actually really truly want to speak about, that's where your valuable content comes from. If you just sit there with a pen and you're like, okay, how can I create 5 steps to whatever topic your head comes up with that you think you should talk about that might be valuable, it's not so easy to write down because it really doesn't come from your heart. So really, I try to reconnect with myself and really ask myself, what would I personally be super excited to write about, to talk about, to share? And that's what you use as a starting point to go. That's how you create valuable content from your heart that is not manipulative. That is really just honest, and that's really just what excites you, what you know your stuff about, what you're an expert in, and what you want to talk about. Because you're allowed to talk about the things you want to talk about. You don't have to make up something and you're like, oh, I have to talk about this, and then I have to talk about how to build your confidence, even though I am actually really not super excited about that topic. Don't do it then. And I had to do massive shifts in that regards with myself, because I had this whole how to start your business topic, and people were still asking me a lot about the basics on how to find your online business idea, but it didn't excite me anymore to talk about that because I've kind of outgrown that. I was like scaling my business and trying to figure out how to make consistent 10K months, so I wasn't really excited anymore about talking on how to find the right business idea. So I've got a course, I've got a freebie, that's where I guide people to, but I don't create fresh content about that anymore. I create fresh content about the things I love talking about, which is growing your audience, growing your confidence, so you can sell your stuff. How do I do that? By sharing my own experience. How did I grow my confidence? How did I grow my audience? What other strategies do I know about growing your confidence and your audience that maybe didn't work for me personally, but might work for someone else? And that's what I share. That's the kind of content that comes up. That's the kind of content that I post everywhere, Facebook groups, Facebook page, my own Facebook group, Instagram, and that attracts my tribe. You're here for a reason. There was some kind of post out there that did relate with you and that you did get something out, or that you decided you like me and want to know more, whatever it was. Ask yourself why you follow certain people. What kind of content do you like to see from others? And that's, again, not meant in a copycat way, like let's copy the style of my own mentor. That's not going to lead anywhere. You will have to find your own authentic voice and your own authentic content. But ask yourself, What resonates with you? Is it behind the scenes stuff? Is it vulnerable stuff? Is it really seeing authentically how someone got from A to B whilst you're currently at A? And very likely it is. But whatever works for you as an audience member is what works for your own audience members as well. That's the kind of content they want to see as well. That's all I wanted to share about content marketing. Exciting. Tomorrow we're going to talk about freebies, what freebies work, how to create freebies, what freebies didn't work for me, and how to get people on your list with that freebie. Whew, 35 minutes. I'm almost on track. I try to make this 30 minutes. Let me know in my Facebook group if you have any questions at all about this topic. I'm more than happy to answer them. And I hope you really got some helpful tips and insights out of that on how to create content. So sit down with the questions and create, because that's your job to do. You have to share your message. You have to share your thing with the world. That's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 2.